thought I'd get fancy, splurged for the pre-bent line set. Well, pre-bent by me right before I started the camera. You know I'm not buying that shit. Welcome back to another episode of Rusty Clam Garage. And today, Friday afternoon, and I'm cutting hood scoops in. Got these cheap plastic things that were just glued onto this, completely non-functional. But I am deciding to cut into my pre-1981 hood. I'm probably gonna piss people off with this, but whatever, it's my hood. I'm never gonna sell it anyway. So yeah, I'm gonna cut it in, put them on, and then paint the hood. Probably won't paint it tonight, probably have to do that tomorrow. Anyway, and I'll get back to you after I cut these things in. All right, so another day out here. I did a little bit of extra work last night on the hood scoops. So let's check this out. It came out early today also, and did some body filler around it and kind of just shaped it. I think they look pretty cool, pretty even. So I'm gonna get this cleaned up and spray it. All right, so these are still taking some time to dry because I sprayed a lot of primer on there. I need to sand it down. I wanted a nice smooth surface, so I sprayed a bunch on. Didn't have any self-leveling primer, but any primer is self-leveling if you spray enough of it. That's aerosols 2369. And these are drying. So I'm measuring out the headliner right now. I'm making a template out of that cardboard. My yard's a fucking mess, oh well. And then we're gonna put the material on and fit it up. All right, so for my headliner, I just grabbed this waterproof wall panel for like 25 bucks or something from Home Depot. I made a template out of cardboard. That's why I save a lot of my cardboard. I use it to mix body filler, a bunch of stuff. So I made a template, transferred it over to this. I have fabric to put over it with spray adhesive. But first I think we'll paint that black once it's trimmed to size and we get the hole cut out for the dome light. Paint it black just in case it like shows through a little bit. And then we're gonna put the sound deadening on the roof on the inside and put this up with the trim. Cool. All right, so a lot has happened here at the Rusty Clam Garage over the past couple weeks. So let's fill you in a little bit on it and show you what we're doing next. So trim, carpet in, shift boot, original plate and everything in. I put a little custom knob on there. We got a little custom gear selector, new steering wheel, painted dash, everything. This is obviously not in yet. All the HVAC isn't in yet. I'm trying to finish all the wiring and everything. We got some paint overspray on the window. We got some shitty hood scoops installed. They look great from 20 feet away. The headliner's looking great. I had to make this little plate here. I cut it a little weird, but we got shocks coming in. We have some leaf spring parts to repair those, and the whole truck is painted. Keeping the door cards as is. I think they look cool, kind of beat up. But we're working right now cleaning up the wiring on the engine bay because the engine's all painted, the top's all painted. I got the distributor put back in last night. So I'm working on getting the wiring, cleaned up and tucked up so I can continue on putting everything back together. And I really want to clean up like these messes around the lights and clean up how this runs. We got to get some brackets on the radiator. And yeah, but tonight I'm kind of just working on the wiring, and then this weekend hopefully we'll get to the fuel system finally and get this thing running again so I can move it around and then hopefully put it up back on the road. All right, it got kind of dark out on me the other night, so I'm gonna continue it today. Got that all wrapped up and routed around Wires going to the starter and the alternator and stuff. Wrapped up. Air conditioning wiring, fan wiring. And just gonna keep working on the main power here, and then power over there, and then start working on the lights. All right, so we got a bunch more cleaned up. Got that all tucked in, some extra wiring from the sensors we're not using tied in. The fan relay, fuse, another inline fuse over here. That's going to power into the cab from here. This is the subwoofer. It's all wrapping around, feeding across the top of the radiator. This is for the sub and the amp. And then the other wire to power the fan. I have it going to like a junction block here. And then that's grounded. Alternator. And so pretty much instead of having a bunch of taps coming off the battery, I'm just gonna have the one going to the starter and the one going to this junction block, and then anything else that needs direct battery power in the engine bay is just gonna come off from right here. Gives me a little bit of expandable circuits for the future, and it just cleans it up a little bit. So I'm gonna throw the cover on that. Thanks to BenPack with these sweet lights, I'm gonna be able to keep working for a little bit because it's only like 6 something and it's already getting pretty dark out here. The moon. Yeah, so I'm running out of daylight, but we're gonna keep plugging away on it for a little while longer, but I am gonna start having to clean up soon because I got a bit of a disaster going on here. So I don't wanna lose stuff, so we'll probably keep going for a little bit and then start cleaning up. But yeah, hopefully tomorrow I'll have this thing started again. Today's Saturday, so tomorrow I should have a good run at it. My wife's got a race. I'm gonna stay home and just plug away. So more updates coming. All right, well, it came down to it. I got all the wiring cleaned up, got the glow shift gauges installed. Something's wrong somewhere. There's a bad ground, bad something. So I'm gonna sand all the grounding spots and try to figure out what's going on, because I'm not even getting power to the radio now, and it didn't change anything on that. So that's where we stand now. So got the bit of the wiring figured out. Still waiting on some sensors so I can finish up that as far as like the cluster goes and everything. But I got this fuel line put in, so we're gonna do that. And then try to get the fuel tank mounted up today and get it running under its own fuel system rather than a tank on the front. I know it's been talked about for a long time, but yeah. Anyway, so thought I'd get fancy, splurged for the pre-bent line set. Well, pre-bent by me right before I started the camera. You know I'm not buying that shit. Anyway, I'm gonna put it in, so yeah. Like that. All right, that's actually pretty close to where it was. So once I get the clips on there, just a couple little tweaks, and we're pretty close to the original bends. And then this one's just gonna go over the top towards the selector. We're gonna bypass the selector this time. I'm just gonna run a line right across there and put the tank on the driver's side to make it nice and easy. Ooh, look at those new cab mounts up there. All right, we got paint under here. But yeah, looking good. Let's get this fuel line put in. All right, I don't remember where we left off, but all the wires working. I got it cleaned up. We're gonna tuck some more things up there. Stole this from the crew cab, but I got the glow shift dash cut, ready to go on. I just finished trimming this up, so we're gonna feed these wires through here, get this mounted up. We got the HVAC back in, off camera, all this stuff I'm like doing under the dash because you can't really see it. But everything's wired up, everything's working. So we're gonna get the inside cleaned up, and then we're gonna throw the carb back on and get to work getting it running and everything. The fuel tank is in. So we're ready to go. So we'll get this in, get this cleaned up, and I'll show you guys after. All right, so update. Interior is put back together. Every piece of trim, every bezel, everything. Even the cigarette lighter works. We got that side done. Got a dome light. You got the headliner, obviously, all the way around with the trim. Surprisingly, this truck had most of the trim with it. Under there is all cleaned up. That's a pretty sweet view. Got the courtesy light going. Everything is looking great. Just looking at this thing again in the daylight, and it is just so cool. Just to what it came from to what it is. Like, there's still a few things I really want to do in here, like make some 3D printed things to put in these holes, like there, speaker covers, and then there's another one on the other side. I'll probably just do a blanking plate, possibly put a little strip with some more charging and USB there to cover these holes that were in the dash. And then I gotta mount that sub. The other ones I had weren't working. I had to return one. Amazon gave me a refund for it. So I bought another one. That one wasn't working. So as you see, I had to kind of do some wiring. And I ended up taking the other one apart and making it work too. So I'm gonna have two back here. Thing cranks for a cheap sub amp combo. I think having two back here would be really cool. And then I can split the signal left and right. Yeah, pretty cool. Anyway, today, as you can see, looking pretty gloom right now. I'm gonna probably try to throw the carb back on and the spark plug wires and see if we can't get this thing running off its own fuel tank for the first time. I wanted to try to bang out a good amount of the exhaust today. If I get to it, maybe we'll get to the headers, but it's supposed to start raining around 2. And it's already looking pretty crappy out, so it's probably going to be before that. So we'll see how far we get, but I'm stoked on this interior. Yeah, a lot of hard work went into this. So excited, ready to get it running so I can drive it. All right, so I'm out here, Rusty Clam Garage, and the Clam is running on its own fuel tank for the first time ever. And on top of that, we have functioning gauges. I'm not sure why this is reading a little bit high. Water temp seems to be good. Fuel level is reading. I don't have a lot of fuel in there right now, so oil pressure, we got 50 psi of oil pressure, which is pretty good for an old 1973 engine. The tach's working. And haven't been able to test the speedo yet. I got a bunch of exhaust parts under here, and I'm not really ready to drive this thing down the road until I'm sure that it's not gonna catch on fire. So I'm gonna let it sit for a bit, let it get up to temp, make sure the fans kick on. And yeah. Seems to be going pretty good. I'm pumped.